So, four things. If you're feeling like your family is maybe disconnected, maybe not as connected as you want them to be, you want to feel like you're more on the same page. You want to feel like you're growing closer together, not drifting apart due to the busyness of life. Well, this is the video for you.
Okay, so challenge number one is communication breakdowns.
Mhm.
All of us have these times where we're just not communicating in a way that we should. We're missing each other. And so, what we do as a family, one of the tips that we have for you is to schedule regular meetings to touch base with each other. How are we doing? What are the struggles we're having? What are the good times that we're having? So for us, it's Sunday mornings right now that we do that with our family, and sometimes it becomes more often depending on what kind of breakdowns we're having.
Yeah, it could be seasonal. You want to say, family meeting, and everybody comes together, and it's a time for you to check in with each of your children or with each other and share your struggles. Because, emotional intelligence is something that me and Letty care a lot about. And one of the things that you learn when you're studying this topic of emotional intelligence is you learn that emotional intimacy is important, right? And figuring out, like, you may not know, like, imagine a brother and a sister, and the brother shares like a concern, and the sister didn't know. That's going to bring them closer together. And you, as a parent, you'll be surprised in our family meetings. Things come out, and you're like, "Wow, I didn't know that you were dealing with that. I didn't know that that was something you were thinking about." So,
Yeah.
family meetings are important.
Challenge number two is lack of quality time together.
Yep.
So we hear this all the time from couples, from families. We just don't have time to spend together in the hustle and bustle of life.
So, yeah, the tip would be to prioritize family time on an individual level as much as possible, customized to the members of your family. So, I know we've done things in the past where we will try to spend one-on-one time with each kid. And of course, as your family sizes grows or as time gets busier, this can look different in different seasons. Like, we didn't.
Sometimes it's only a 10-minute touch point, every other day, where it's like, okay, a quick game of chess or checkers. Chess, not chess, that's too long. But things like that, where it's a shorter time in the busier times of life.
Or you can take a walk, right? I remember it's about consistency more than the quantity or even the quality as far as like wow factor or entertainment value. It's just about, are you spending regular, consistent time with a kid or with your spouse in a way that makes them feel seen, heard, and fosters that connection. If you're riding a bike to your work and it's drizzling, you're going to be soaking wet by the time you get there. But if you're riding your bike to work and there's a downpour for the first 2 minutes and you get soaked, then by the time you get to work, you might be dry. So if you want to be soaked in love, soaked in that family intimacy, that emotional intimacy that we want, you're going to have that consistency. So it doesn't have to be a lot, just consistent.
Yes. So I know for this next season of life, we have older kids now as well. And so what we're going to do to spend quality time together is we're going to talk to each person, see a goal that each one of us want to reach, and all of us are going to help each person reach that goal. So I don't know what that's going to look like. I think right now I'm thinking like, hey, I want to organize my spice cabinet. So I think as a family, that's going to be my thing that we do together to help me. And we'll pick that for each person.
That's a great idea. See, so creativity, it's important in bringing families closer together. All right, so
challenge number three is differing parenting styles. So we can hear this often that a couple has different ways of doing things, of training their kids, of teaching their kids, and this can cause a lot of conflict.
Yeah, you might have one parent that's more of the disciplinarian or the stickler, and you have more of the parent that's maybe a little more lenient or a little more
the yes one.
The yes one that says yes,
where the kid always goes to.
Oh yeah, they know how to find that yes parent, and it's not gender specific, right? Like you might wonder who's the yes parent out of us, or who's the parent more quick to say no. You have to find out in a later video. She's the yes one. No, she didn't. But I have some friends of mine, some buddies of mine, where the parents, So anyway, the point of this one is to respect that, right? Because if you don't do that, you can get aggravated or annoyed with your spouse or your the other parent. And it's like, look, God made them the way that they are. God made me the way that I am. And guess what? We should be looking to balance each other, complement each other, right? I know there's been times when I'm like, Letty, why didn't you respond to the kid's mistake or sin or something they did that's wrong? Why didn't you respond in this way? And as I grew in my maturity, it was like, because she's not you. And that's okay.
Yes. So it can be really helpful to do things like writing down what's important to each person, and that way and writing it down helps to just have that other touch point where you're seeing it. It's just another way to remember in the times when they get hard to communicate with each other. You're just remembering what's valuable to that person.
Yeah, it's about establishing those core values, right? Because even though there's differences, you should be able to align on core principles. Like for us, one of them is we don't undermine each other in front of the kids. So even if I disagree with her approach or she disagrees with my approach or my response to the children, maybe I'm a little too sharp or a little too hard. And, we have an understanding where, she should pull me aside after the fact, right? And say, hey, I don't know if that was the best approach. And I should have
or sometimes it's even during, like, hey, can I talk to you really quick, to where it's not alarming to the kids, but we need to talk about something before the conversation continues. So having respect for each other, but being able to also stop a conversation when our kids are involved and talk about it and then come back.
Yeah. So that was tip number 3.
Challenge number 4 is unresolved conflicts.
Yep.
So we've all dealt with this, where we just kind of sweep things under the rug or let things go or move on. And we realize that that's not helpful. So a lot of times things can fester. It can pop up again in later conversations, and then things escalate.
Yeah. I mean, it really is a practice. It's about practicing forgiveness. It's about practicing conflict resolution. And these are 2 main branches when it comes to emotional intelligence, something me and my wife are very passionate about, right? It's something that growing in emotional intelligence as a family collectively is going to take you from maybe a family that's growing apart to a family that's growing together. And I think practicing forgiveness, practicing conflict resolution, right? Because it takes courage, right? It takes courage to go up to someone and say, hey, here's something that you did that was hurtful to me. And you're trusting that they're going to receive that with humility. So helping your kids to learn how to do that is important, and modeling that as parents is important, because that's not always the case, right?
So those are 4 common challenges and our tips, and I hope that they're helpful.
Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.